Help me reach 3,000 subscribers. Hit like and leave a comment. I really do read them all. She came in at 11:50 on a Tuesday, kicked off her heels at the door, and did that thing where she kept her phone face down on the counter like it was a sacred relic. No hello, no how was your day. Just a quick grin that didn't reach her eyes and, relax, Evan. Don't turn into a jealous husband on me. Then she slid past me to the fridge, humming like I was part of the furniture. If I'd seen where it was headed, I would have shut the door that night and let the lock speak for me. I was at the sink rinsing a pan. She opened a can of sparkling water, took a sip, and set the ring tab on the counter. The tab clinked. Normally she tossed it. Tonight she left it there like a marker. I do what I want. Late for a Tuesday, I told her, drying my hands on a kitchen towel. Traffic, she answered, shrugging out of her blazer. At 10:30? Don't start. I'm asking like an adult. Happy hour turned long. New project manager. We were welcoming her. She hooked the blazer over a chair, still not looking at me. I leaned on the island. Give me a name. Why? Because we're married, and I'm trying to be looped into your life, Tara. It's not a background podcast I play while I make dinner. She pulled a face. You're being dramatic. Name. Angie. Okay. Everyone stayed late. I stayed too. I'm sorry it was late. Were you planning to text me? I forgot. Phone died. I picked up her phone, pressed the side button. The screen lit up. Plenty of charge. I handed it back without comment. She rolled her eyes. Oh my God. Don't do this. I'll keep it simple, I replied. Going forward, you run late, you text. Not because I need to track you like a teenager, but because I plan dinner, the dog, and my morning. It's coordination. You're being controlling. No, I'm being married. There's a difference. She drank again, set the can down a little too hard. What if I don't want to check in every minute? Then don't. One message is not every minute. And if it's a problem, I'll adjust in other ways. What does that mean? It means I won't be waiting up. You're mad. I'm decisive. I folded the towel, set it down. Also, new rule on the calendar. If something is going to run past 10, it goes on our shared calendar before you head out. We're upgrading me to your assistant now. She laughed through her nose. No, we're upgrading us to adults who respect each other's time. She stared at me, lips pressed flat. I had a long day. Can you not make a big thing out of this? I'm making it clear, not big. 2 lines. Text if late, shared calendar for late nights. That's it. And if I don't love that, I'll stop doing the things I do by default. Dinners, waiting up, covering your morning when you roll in at midnight. She set her jaw. So you punish me. I set boundaries. If you want to call it punishment, maybe you're confessing to something. She blew out a breath, grabbed the ring tab from the counter like I'd offended her sense of cleanliness, tossed it in the trash. You're ridiculous. I'll take ridiculous over invisible. She started toward the hallway, then paused. By the way, I'm out again tomorrow. Team thing. Don't wait up. Put it on the calendar, I answered. And feed the dog now. I handled it last 3 nights. Bossy, she muttered, walking off. Clear, I corrected. She didn't reply, but she left the empty can on the island like a dare. I rinsed it and put it in the recycle bin myself. I wasn't going to fight over a can. I was going to change how I moved. The next morning, I adjusted my day. I left for work early without making coffee for 2. The dog got walked on my schedule, not hers. I texted her a lunch screenshot of the shared calendar with a blank evening block and a caption. Add your late stuff. No emoji. At 4, she texted, happy hour at 6. Might run late. Don't wait up. The emoji wasn't for me. It was for the mirror she carried around. I replied, not waiting. Lock up. At 5:30, Marcus, the senior tech at my shop, knocked on my office door. You closing up early? Chief. He's 52, straight shooter, Vietnam vet mustache, Midwest plain talk. On time, I told him. I'm not covering anyone's midnight anymore. Trouble on the home field? Just upgrading the rules. Good. Don't let your life become a vending machine. People love free snacks. I smiled. I'll quote you. Around 9:30, I got a text, running later than planned. Don't wait. No apology. No why. She had the calendar rule, but she still treated it like a suggestion. I turned off my phone and slept. When I woke at 5:30 to hit the gym, she was a lump under the duvet. Her clothes were a trail from the door. I didn't pick them up. I wrote on a sticky note. Coffee's on the counter. Calendar's still empty. I left it under her phone. And I left for the day without checking if she read it. I had no interest in chasing. I got home Wednesday at 6. The house smelled like citrus cleaner and something warm in the oven. Her car was in the driveway. A candle flickered on the table. Nice setup, textbook. She was at the counter plating pasta like we were reenacting a commercial. She looked up. Truce. I hung my keys on the hook. What are we trucing? She gave a little smile. I didn't put it on the calendar yesterday. You're right. That annoyed you. She slid a plate toward me. So I'm making dinner. And I put tonight on the calendar. Home early, dinner. See, she flipped her phone to show the entry. I nodded. Appreciated, I replied, taking a seat. What changed? I don't like tension, she said, bringing her plate and sitting opposite me. And you were intense. I was clear. She twirled pasta. You were right. I could have texted better. She took a bite, set the fork down. I'm not used to reporting in. I value independence. I value respect. They can live together. She lifted a shoulder. Maybe I didn't realize how much you need updates. I don't need updates. I need to be able to plan my life with my wife in it. She raised a glass of water. Then let's plan. Good, I answered. First change, Fridays are ours. No late nights. If someone wants your time then, they can get it another day. She didn't move for a second. Every Friday. Non-negotiable. If you need a floating night for work, pick Monday through Thursday. Pick 2 if needed. Put them on the calendar before noon. I'll plan around them. But Friday is ours. She tapped her nail on the glass. Okay. She smiled again, the kind people use when they're sealing a deal they don't intend to honor. That's fair. And second, I added, if you're going to be past 10 any night, I need a heads up by 8. You hit that, I'll cover the dog and the rest. You miss it, you cover your morning without waking me. She considered. You really were stewing, huh? I was choosing. Consider me informed, she replied, taking another bite. Can we eat now? I want a peaceful night. We ate. She asked about a break job at the shop. I gave her the short version. She told me about a client who wanted everything by yesterday. It was almost normal. After dishes, she slid close on the couch and tucked her feet under my leg like she used to. You know, she said, eyes on the muted TV. I'm thinking we should take a day trip Saturday. The lake? We haven't done that in a while. I looked at her. I'm in. She nodded like that settled something huge, then put her head on my shoulder. 10 minutes later, she pulled back and stretched. I'm beat. Turning in. I watched her go. We were fine. That was the point of clarity. Not to fight, to fix. I let myself think maybe this was an adult course correction. Thursday morning, I found the grocery list on the counter with wine for Saturday and a smiley face. Thursday noon, I got a text. Team lunch turned to brainstorming. I'll be late tonight, probably 10:30. I'll text by 8. So she had learned to form a sentence. Progress. At 8:05. Might go a bit later than 10:30. No details. I replied with a thumbs up. At 10:40. Still at it. At 11:20. Nothing. At midnight. The alarm chime of the front door. I didn't get up. I had a morning run scheduled. I stuck to it. Friday morning, I brewed coffee at 6. Tara came into the kitchen wearing my old college shirt. She looked at the coffee, then at me. I handled the morning, she said, a hint of pride, like she'd passed a pop quiz. I put last night on the calendar this time. I checked. She had. The entry read, brainstorm ran late. Sorry. I scrolled further. Friday blank. Saturday lake. Fine. She reached over, squeezed my shoulder. I appreciate the structure, she said, tone airy. It helps. You were right. I usually am when I think before I talk, I replied. She laughed lightly. Self-awareness looks good on you. At lunch, Marcus poked his head into my office again. You're brighter today. Communication improved, I told him. Keep your head on a swivel, he warned. Sometimes when folks act super agreeable, it's because they're moving pieces you can't see. I'm not blind. I know. I'm reminding you because I like my boss not hollowed out. That night, right as I pulled steaks from the grill at 6:30, Tara walked out to the patio in a dress I hadn't seen in a year. You look good, I told her. Do I? She stepped close, kissed my cheek, and handed me a folded piece of paper. Angie's birthday tomorrow night. Girls' night. I promised I'd swing by after we get back from the lake. I'll be quick. We planned the lake and an evening in, I answered, flipping a steak. We locked Friday and Saturday together on purpose. It's not a big deal, Evan. It is to me. We just agreed. No late nights on the weekend. It's not late. 9 to 10:30. Tops. And the lake. Still on. She smiled, bright, reassuring. You're getting uptight again. Don't be. You'll get me all day. It's about the agreement. This is a one-off. Every one-off is how rules dissolve. I replied, turning off the burner. Move it to Sunday afternoon. She's not doing anything Sunday. Not my problem. She set her hands on her hips. I'm going. You'll be fine for 90 minutes. I'm canceling the lake if you are. I'm not driving 2 hours to share you with a schedule you don't respect. Wow, she said, shaking her head. You know what? You go stubborn for sport. She walked inside and left the door open. I stared at the empty chair across from me. The steaks cooled. The micro truce had a timer built into it. She just started it. Saturday morning, I didn't pack the cooler. I put my keys and wallet by the door and grabbed a notepad. I wrote a new rule list: clean, short, adult, and left it on the island. Weekend plans are not placeholders. If a one-off pops up, we decide together. If you go solo, I opt out of the day. No late nights on Friday/Saturday. Full stop. Tara came in from the shower, towel on her head. She saw the list, picked it up, and laughed. This is adorable. It's orderly. It's controlling. It's clarity. Pick one. I pick my friend's birthday, she said, tossing the note down. You can stay mad. I'm not missing it. I'm not going to be mad, I answered, taking my keys. I'm going to be elsewhere. You're canceling the lake because of 90 minutes? No. I'm canceling the lake because you said our plans were optional. When that happens, I don't pretend they're not. Where are you going then? Shop. Maybe grab lunch with Marcus. I'll be home later. You're serious. As a mortgage. Are we really doing this over a birthday party? Her voice was edged now. We're doing this over respect. She snorted. You're being petty. Pettiness is taking the bigger stake. I'm reassigning my time. I left. At the shop, Marcus was calibrating a tire machine. I told him the condensed version. He grinned without humor. You pulled yourself out of her schedule. Good. People only pay attention when there's cost. Plan to keep distance today, I replied. Not to punish. To clear the fog. Clear the fog and stack your moves, he answered. If you want out of the lake plan, build a different one, on your terms. I texted Tara at noon. Grabbing lunch, back around 3. She replied, okay. Lake. I responded, skipping. You had a one-off. She didn't reply. At 5:30, Nina, her friend since college, texted me. Hey, Tara said you were both stopping by for a bit tonight? It's low-key. I stared at the message for a second and sent back. I'm not. She might. At 7:45, Tara came into the living room already dressed to go out. She did a slow spin like I was the approval booth. I told Nina we'd drop in and out. Be cool. I'm not going. Come on, she coaxed, picking lint off my sleeve like I was 5. I'm not stepping into an environment where my boundary is a punchline. She frowned like I was speaking a language she didn't recognize. You're making this weird. You already did. She rolled her eyes so hard I thought she'd strain something. Fine. I'll be back by 10:30. I'll text. She grabbed her clutch. Don't wait up. I stopped doing that Tuesday. She froze for half a second, then recovered. You're unbearable when you dig your heels in. She left. I cleaned the kitchen, walked the dog, and called my brother for nothing chatty, just needed a voice that wasn't trying to wrestle me into mud. At 10:25, my phone buzzed. Running 10 late, almost done. At 11:10, nothing. At 11:40, they ordered one more round. I'm leaving soon. At midnight, come pick me up? Parking is a mess. I stared at the message. I stared at the clock. I took a breath and typed. You plan this. You can plan your ride. See you tomorrow. At 12:50, the door opened. She came in with the kind of loud that says, I want you to be awake so you hear this. She saw the dark living room and flipped the light on anyway. Thanks for the pickup, she called, sarcasm dripping. You're welcome for the boundary, I replied from the chair. She squinted toward me. Are you serious? Deadly. You're acting like I did something wrong. You blew past the rules we agreed on 48 hours ago. I had fun with my friends. Sue me. This isn't a courtroom. Then stop acting like a judge. Start acting like a partner. I stood. We're not doing this loud. We can talk in the morning. You're sulking now? I'm being strategic. You're not hearing me tonight. She tossed her clutch on the counter, and went to the bedroom humming again, louder this time, like the volume knob would drown out the point. Sunday afternoon, Nina invited both of us to a backyard thing. Burgers, a few people, easy. I didn't want a scene, but I also wasn't going to disappear from my own circle. I went. I brought a salad and a calm face. I told myself, you'll be cordial, you'll be clear if needed, you'll leave if it turns. The grill smoked. Music low. Neighbors I didn't know by name. Tara was in hostess mode with Nina, laughing too hard at inside jokes. I talked with a guy about fixing a gate latch. Normal. At some point, Nina's cousin asked Tara a question about married weekends. Tara shrugged, smiling too bright. Depends if Evan's feeling jealous that day. Nina glanced at me, uncomfortable. I met her eyes. I like schedules, not tracking. Tara waved a hand. He's very particular. Particular keeps the gas bill paid. I replied evenly. A few people laughed. It diffused. Then someone handed Tara a plastic cup. She took it, turned to Nina, and, too loud, said, "Thank God some of us still know how to have fun. Evan acts like the house plant will wilt if I don't sing it to sleep." Nina's smile faltered. I went to the cooler, got sparkling water, opened it. "Houseplant's thriving," I said. "I kept it alive while you discovered who you are past midnight." That got a few chuckles. Tara's eyes narrowed. It should have ended there, but she needed it to crescendo. Nina started a story about a road trip. Tara cut her off and stepped closer to the half circle. "You know what the funniest part is?" She looked around, voice pitched for the crowd. "He's so concerned about us time, and then when we're alone she fluttered her hand. Let's just say the fireworks don't exactly light themselves." A couple people shifted, trying to decide if they were hearing what they thought they were hearing. I took a slow drink. Nina touched Tara's elbow. "Hey, let's not." Tara laughed, bigger, arrhythmic. "No, really. He's great at lists, not so great at." She moved her finger in a little circle, childish and crude. And then she raised her voice, aiming for a laugh. "It's like Evan is nothing in bed." Everything stopped. You could hear a leaf hit the grass. Nina went white, then red. I set my can on the cooler. I turned my head to Tara's friend. "Nina," I asked, my tone conversational, "do you think so too?" Nina's eyes, wide and ashamed, darted to Tara and then to me. She flushed, red to her ears. I don't. Tara, what are you doing?" Tara exploded. "Don't drag my friend into your sensitivity. God, Evan, take a joke." I felt something slide into place inside me, heavy and final, like a lock when it's closed. It wasn't anger. It was decision. I raised my hand slightly. "We're done here." I looked at Nina, who looked like she wanted the lawn to swallow her. "I apologize you had to hear your friend try out stand-up material at my expense. That's on me. I won't put you in this position again." Nina reached out. "Evan, I'm sorry, I swear. It's not on you." I turned to Tara. "You'll find your own ride home. You like independence. Enjoy it." I left. I didn't slam anything. I didn't deliver a speech. I walked to my truck and drove home on autopilot, inventorying the steps I'd already half planned in my head since Tuesday. At the house, I took the 2 suitcases from the closet and filled them. Seasonals in one, essentials in the other. Tools and important papers into the lockbox. I put my wedding ring in the top drawer, not as drama, just because I don't do symbols without substance. I took the framed photo off the dresser, the one from our first year when our Sundays felt like ours. I slid the photo out and set the frame back empty. Not because I was bitter, because I was finished pretending. When Tara came home, an hour later, heels in her hand, she saw the suitcases by the door. "Oh, stop it," she snapped, eyes bright like she thought this was a scene she could steer. "This isn't a scene," I answered. "It's a move. You're overreacting. You went public. I'm going permanent. You're going to blow up our marriage because I made a joke? You blew it up when you turned me into a punchline to get applause. And you should know I don't rebuild with people who get applause from my humiliation. You can't be serious." I'm packed. I picked up the smaller suitcase. "I'm leaving now. We'll arrange the rest through email. I'll send you a list of what I'll come back for and when and what's yours. Keep the house tonight. You're not taking my house. I'm taking my time. You can keep the mortgage." She threw her hands up. "You can't just." "I can." I paused at the door. "And Tara, don't call me tonight. Don't text me. If we talk, it'll be in writing. You lost the right to my ear when you chose an audience instead." She opened her mouth, closed it, then tried a different tune. I didn't mean it. You know that. You meant the laugh. That's enough. I rolled the suitcase out and put it in the truck. As I pulled away, I saw her through the front window. She was still half smiling like she hadn't caught up to the script change yet. I slept at my brother Daniel's place on his sofa that night. He didn't ask questions. He brewed strong coffee in the morning and left me a note. Shower's yours. Stay as long as you need. You pay for breakfast. Simple men. Simple rules. By noon, I'd leased a small furnished apartment month to month. I didn't ask anyone's permission. I changed my mailing address and the password on my personal email. I also added a new shared doc titled Logistics, with bullet points and dates. I shared it with Tara. No commentary, no fight. She broke the no contact by noon with, "We need to talk." I replied, "We will by email. Logistics doc is live." "Don't be dramatic," she wrote back. "I'm being precise." At 3, she showed up at my shop. Marcus walked into my office ahead of her without knocking, which he never does, and said, "You have a guest." His eyes told me he didn't love it. Tara walked in like she owned the place. "You can't just block me." I gestured at the chair. "You're not blocked. You're in my office." "You're being ridiculous," she started. "Keep it simple." I cut in. "You made a choice in public. I made a decision in private. We're done." She Saturday a joke. It was a bad joke. It was a statement. It was stupid. I'll apologize. You just did, sort of. Apology accepted. The outcome stands. "Come home," she said, switching to soft. "We'll reset." I did reset. I moved out. "You're really going to toss our life for pride?" "For respect," I replied. "Which is more expensive to lose?" She tried another angle. "I was hurt that you didn't come last night." I acted out. "So I should be humiliated until I comply with your schedule?" "No," she said quickly. "I know." Marcus knocked the door frame with his knuckle like a metronome. Tara glanced back at him like he was furniture and kept going. "I made dinner Wednesday. I put things on the calendar. I tried. And then you laughed at me in front of people. A person can learn your language and still curse you with it. I'm saying I'll do better." "That assumes you still have access," I answered. "You don't." Her voice got sharper. "So that's it. You run? You quit." "I don't run. I remove myself from disrespect." She leaned forward. "Evan, we can fix this. We could have, before yesterday. Now we just divide things like adults. The doc has the items. Pick your time window for me to retrieve the rest." 2 options listed. She glanced down, reading her phone. "This is insane." "Orderly." She stood abruptly. "You're punishing me." "No. I'm building a life without hostility." She stared at me like she was trying to memorize my face for a last-minute trick. Then she softened. "Third switch of the day. Please. Let's go get lunch, just us, and talk. I'll listen. This is my workplace. You don't get to crash it and demand lunch. We will not be doing that." I looked at Marcus. "Would you show her out, please?" Marcus nodded, opened the door wider. Tara stared at him like he'd said a slur. Then she looked back at me, eyes bright, not wet, bright with anger. "You make rules like you're the only adult," she snapped. "I make rules for me. You don't have to like them. You do have to respect them to have access to me." She left, heels clicking hard down the hall. Marcus came back in and shut the door gently. "You okay, boss?" "Better than fine," I told him. I was worried I'd waffle. I didn't. "Good man." He pointed at the door with his thumb. "She'll come back with prettier words. She'll also come back with something sharp if the pretty words don't work. Set your tripwires." I already did. That evening, Tara tried pretty words. "I'm sorry. I was insecure. You seemed distant and I panicked. Can we talk at home, just us? I made your favorite pasta. I'm not trying to control you. I miss us." I stared at the message longer than I should have. History has gravity. But I kept it simple. "I'll stop by tomorrow at noon for my remaining clothes and tools. No talk. Leave the garage door code active." She responded, "Okay. I'll be there." At noon the next day, she opened the garage door before I even parked. She wore a soft sweater, hair tied back, the domestic picture. A neat row of my boxes stood by the workbench like a retail display. "I packed what you asked," she said, voice gentle. "I also made lunch. I won't be staying." She smiled like people smile at stray dogs. "You can sit for 10 minutes. I'm good." "Evan, please." I picked up a box. "Help me load or go back inside." She swallowed her argument and grabbed the other end of a tote. We worked without speaking for 10 minutes. Then she tried again. Honeyed. I'm sorry, she said quietly. I was wrong. You didn't deserve that. You're right, I replied. She touched my arm. I can be better. I want to be better. Your wants are not my problem now. She pulled her hand back like the lid of a pot had burned her. You really mean to throw everything away? Stop calling it throwing away. It's called ending something that should be ended. She stepped closer, voice low. You're not even giving me a chance. You had 1,000 chances. You had a choice right up until you wanted to surf a laugh on my back. You chose the laugh. Her mouth trembled, but not from sadness. From fury at no longer steering. She set the tote in the bed of the truck a little too hard. You're cold. I'm calm. We finished loading. I grabbed the last box, the one with the framed photo I'd removed. Tara noticed the empty frame. What did you do with the picture? She asked. I took my part. You can keep the frame. That cracked her polished tone. You're petty. I'm final. I closed the tailgate. This is the last of it. I'll send you a summary and the proposal for the bills we split until the paperwork's done. What paperwork? Divorce. Her lips parted. You're going to end it like this? Over pride? Over respect, I said again. Stop trying to rename it. I stepped back, locked the door behind me. She didn't chase me to the truck. That was the first honest move she'd made in days. People think leaving is the hard part. It's not. It's saying the same sentence calmly 14 times while everyone around you tries different wrenches to loosen your decision. The next 2 weeks, Tara cycled through them all. First was the "we work better when we're messy" speech over email. I did not respond to philosophy. I responded with a bulleted list of utilities in her name and mine, due dates, and how to split them until the split was official. Then came the "you're embarrassing me" angle. I replied, stop telling people things that are untrue and you won't be embarrassed. My side is one sentence. We're separated and working through logistics. I expect the same from you. Then came, I talked to Nina. She feels awful. I wrote, not her load to carry. You chose the words. Manage your friendship yourself. She tried a surprise visit to the apartment on a Friday night, knocking like a neighbor who brought pie. I didn't open the door. I texted, unannounced visits are not on the menu. She wrote back, you're being cruel. I wrote, I'm using a lock. Saturday morning, she sent a long story about our anniversary trip 2 years back, photos attached. I replied with the address of a storage unit and a time for exchanging boxes. Not because I'm heartless, because I meant what I said. No audience, no speeches, no movie moments. On Monday, she tried the nuclear, we can fix the physical side. Let's see someone. I answered, there's nothing to fix there. There's respect to fix. And we're past fixing it. By Thursday, she pivoted to anger. You're quitting. You're scared. You're weak. I replied, you yelled in public that I am nothing in bed. That told me everything. I'm not scared. I'm uninterested. Nina texted me on a Saturday afternoon. I'm sorry. I didn't know she'd say that. I've been trying to talk sense into her. If you want to talk, I'm here. I wrote back, I appreciate the kindness. It's not for you to carry. Take care of yourself. A week later, Tara showed up at my shop again. This time she was composed, dressed down, hair in a ponytail, hands empty. Marcus saw her and didn't bother knocking. You have a minute? She asked. 2. I answered, glancing at the wall clock. Okay. She took a breath. I told people I was wrong. I said I hurt you. I'm sorry. I've never been more embarrassed. You'll live. She nodded. I probably will. But I don't want to live without you. You already are. She flinched like the truth had corners. You're serious about the paperwork? Yes. You're making a mistake. I'm correcting one. She stared at me, then tried the last lever. What do you want me to say? Nothing, I replied. That's the point. You had a lot to say when it benefited you. Now you can live with the quiet. She swallowed. If I ask you not to do this, I'll hear you and still do it. That's adulthood. She didn't blink. She held my eyes like she could find a switch behind them. There wasn't one. Okay, she said finally. Okay. She turned to leave, then paused. You know, you like to think you're above everyone's mess. I'm standing outside of yours. She left. The door clicked. Marcus popped in 10 seconds later. Held your ground, he said, because I'm done explaining gravity. Proud of you, he answered. Also, there's a guy waiting about a brake inspection. Send him in. I filed the paperwork the next morning. Not a war. Not a drama. A stack of forms, a fee, A quiet drive to an office with a tired flag out front. And then an email to Tara with a scanned copy and a line. Filed today. We'll handle this cleanly. I didn't mention the past. I didn't need to. The present was enough. A year later, I'm sitting on the back porch of a small house on the edge of town. Paid for. The lawn is stubborn and honest. The dog snores at my feet. There's a tool chest in the garage that makes sense when I open it. My truck runs clean because I take care of my stuff, the way I promised myself I would when this was over. There's a woman named Claire who meets me with steadiness and clear eyes. She doesn't keep her phone face down. She texts when she's late because that's what we both do. She laughs at stories, not at people. We plan Fridays. We keep them. It turns out that when the rules are simple and mutual, the rest doesn't need much flair. My circle is tighter, better. Marcus and I go fishing twice a month, and we talk about engines and the kinds of decisions that let you sleep. Daniel and I grill in his yard and don't say much. That's fine. I've become a man who leaves parties early and doesn't apologize for it because he has a porch and he likes it. Tara? I hear she moved into a smaller place closer to the city. The invites slowed down when the crowd stopped paying her in laughs for other people's dignity. She sent one last message months back. It was one line, "I'm sorry." I archived it. Not out of cruelty. Out of completion. If I ran into her on a sidewalk, I'd nod. That's all. There's nothing to say. She taught me the cost of being an entertainer in your own house. I paid once. I don't pay twice. When people ask me what happened, I keep it to a sentence. I left when respect left. Sometimes they want the story. I don't give it. Stories invite debate. Boundaries close the door. The last thing I said to her in our house, before the suitcases, before the door, before the drive, was the truest line I've ever said. It fits on a business card. It fits on a ring.